So I guess the last thing I will say is that now my concern, my focus is, of course, the relationship between the United States and the countries of Central Asia, and
How is it going?
how's it going? Well, it's
And what?
yeah, I can say a few words about that. So the relationship with all five of the Central Asian countries is on I would say a positive upswing right now.
We like positive.
It's a positive upswing. There's a lot of interest on the part of the countries to develop that relationship more strongly. We often hear from leaders in Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and also Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan about their interest in developing the relationship with the United States, because they feel a lot of pressure from neighbors. They have Russia, they have China, they have even Iran, and
Yeah.
they want the United States to be more active in the region and to be able to balance. They feel they need to have the balance in the relationship. So that's what led to Secretary Kerry's trip last fall. I'm sure you read about it, when he visited all five countries in one trip.
Countries and do meeting with Minister of Foreign of these countries.
Yes, that's right, in Samarkand. Yes, he met with all five ministers.
More of these people from Samarkand.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. That's what I understood. That's what I understood.
We were born in Samarkand.
And it's a lovely city, by the way. It was absolutely beautiful. But that meeting, in a way, that meeting in Samarkand symbolized the closer relationship that the United States is developing with those countries. There are challenges still, which we are aware of. One of the challenges we have is that we're far away, so it's not as easy for us to do things in that region. And some of the countries don't want us to be doing things in that region as much. I would say, that the Russian Federation has made it clear that they would not like the United States to be present.
More involved, yeah.
So that's a complication. But nonetheless, we think it's important to develop the ties and the relationship, and so we're doing that. And when I say develop ties and relationship, I'm talking about in every sphere, in every area. Economically, we're encouraging more trade and more investment between the countries. Not easy sometimes to get our U.S. companies interested in investing there, but we make an effort to do that. Politically, we try to raise the level of our engagement. Of course, the Secretary's trip being a good example, the best example of that. Security, in terms of military relationship, we're also working hard to have closer ties. We do training programs, we do other things with the military forces of those countries. And then also culturally, there's a lot of effort to increase the exchanges back and forth. A great example, later today, Jennifer and I will be going to the Metropolitan Museum here in New York for an opening of an exhibit on the Seljuk Empire. And there's there are objects from Turkmenistan that have been donated to the Metropolitan Museum for this exhibit. And I think it's the first time ever that the government of Turkmenistan has agreed for these objects to go outside, to go abroad. So the exhibit's opening this week, and we're going to a special ceremony for that. So that should be very nice.
They will come to the United States in June, and 5 countries, 5+1.
Oh.
It's will really
Well,
on the project.
We're this 5+1 or C5
Yes.
plus 1 as we call it. We're trying to make that a ongoing project, to keep it going, to have that sort of meeting happen on a regular basis. We're aiming to do one in the early summer, maybe late June. We don't have the date
But you're
fixed
planning
yet.
to do this United States or some of countries of Central Asia?
This next meeting would be in the United States.
It will be in New York or Washington?
We haven't decided where yet. It could be Washington, it could be another city. But Secretary Kerry has agreed to host it. We're just trying to fix the date. And so that effort is something that is very important to Secretary Kerry. He would like to have that format, that C5+1, established before the end of his term. And so that's what we're working towards now.
Beginning for we start meeting usually we give it to speech to rabbi to bless our meeting.
Hmm.
I didn't because I was a little bit confused myself because my translator didn't was here, my teacher. But
No, it doesn't matter.
if you don't mind.
Нам
I
повезло,
did-
что господин
some-
Розенблюм говорит по-русски
some-
тоже.
some little bit I
Так
did-
что Рабай может спокойно
Please,
говорить по-русски тоже.
Please, rabbi, please.
Shalom Bracha, and Chag Sameach